Let's clap it up. Episode 96 of the Five-A-Side Podcast. And the room looks a little bit different today. We got Moosey back.
Yes, sir.
Sitting in Josh's position for a little bit before he gets here. And we have a special guest today as well.
What's up, guys? I'm Amir Bal.
Yes, sir. In the building.
Welcome.
Biggest Arsenal fan I know. If you want to know the left center back from 1979, he got you. Who was it?
Pat Rice.
Yeah! He did it. This guy is crazy. This guy is
That's nasty. That's nasty work.
Right now, it was David O'Leary.
Oh, my
still,
God. We weren't
yeah.
going to know that.
Our all-time appearance maker, by the way. So,
Yeah, no, he's unbelievable. And we just did, that's ridiculous. We just did a video with him for the Arsenal versus City game through the Premier League USA that's kind of showing his game day routine, going to the bar, the crazy fan reaction, a little bit of your history there. So appreciate you coming on the pod, bro.
Yes, sir.
Any
Blessed to be
introduction
here.
you want to give to the people?
Love football, love business, love history. And I think all those three things are interconnected. So just love everything about the game. Obviously, Arsenal is my life, first of all, but I just love everything about football. I think it's the world's game and it's the world's language. So
100%. And we
yeah.
can get to the business side of things, too.
yeah,
That's a
for
fact.
sure.
Moosey over here. How you feeling today, bro?
Bro, feeling good, feeling blessed.
Got the braids?
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
gonna have a different hairstyle every episode at this
That's a
point.
fact.
We got the young boys with us
The
today.
young boys with us.
The
today. That's
Yeats,
a
the
fact.
Yeats.
Got
Definitely
me
the
feeling
Yeats.
like an unk in this motherfucker.
Yeah, bro.
Feeling unked out.
Big bro. See, this problem,
Yeah.
I'll be skipping the big bro stage. Unks is reserved for
Bro,
like
there's someone
41,
who broke it down. Yeah, you in big bro
we're
phase,
early
right?
big
You
bro,
get
too. We're
I'm big
early
bro.
big
Yeah,
bro.
you early big bro.
We're
You're not
trying
unk
to
yet.
skip steps.
Yeah.
Because think about it. If you unk at like 30, what's
Yeah.
after that?
I'm not
You
gonna lie.
OG at
You
35?
unk for a while. You unk for a while.
36?
Yeah, you-
Unk is crazy. Unk got to be like late 30s, I think.
All right.
We're big bros, man. Big bro era.
Cool with that, bro.
Gabe here, Kendrick. But of course, the Ballon d'Or just occurred. We got to clap it up for Ousmane Dembele winning
Usman.
the 69th
Dembele.
Ballon d'Or ceremony. We'll get to all the different winners across the different awards for the night. But overall, what was y'all favorite parts of the ceremony? Maybe more in general rather than any specific point.
I'll start with my least favorite part. Of the
That's fine too.
ceremony.
We can go straight negativity if you
Yo,
want to. I'll make it positive after.
The part where they had brought out like the interpretive dancers right before
Oh God.
right before the actual like Ballon d'Or naming part
Yeah.
was ridiculous. Like
No words
bro
either.
came out like
Bro, that stage
And I
was
was
small
like,
as
yo,
hell.
it
What was
was-
they supposed to do?
the thing is there was actually no reason for it.
I know.
Like the whole ceremony was like straight through, and then all of a sudden it's like
Culture,
an
bro.
interpretive dance break, and I was like, "Yo, let's cut to the chase, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I want to hear the winners." But I don't know French people be doing weird shit. So,
Ramène coupe à la maison.
yeah, I don't know, bro. They just be doing shit. So
Hilarious. Y'all thoughts? Any favorite parts or least favorite if that's the direction y'all want to go to?
There were a lot of rankings that I don't think I agree with.
I like that.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna start with. I'm super happy for Bon Mati. You know, I think
I'm
the
with
scene.
you on this take.
This is okay. I'm super happy for Bon Mati.
Yeah,
She's
most
she's
people have
great.
This take. This is a
Yeah,
common
this is not a hot take by any means.
take.
Bon
Arsenal
Mati,
fans, so you like it too. Yeah.
Bon Mati was great. I think she was player of the tournament in Champions League and she was in Euros as well.
Mhm.
So she was great. She was injured for also a lot of that season, but for what
Was she
Caldente,
player of the tournament in the Champions League
she was.
over Caldente, who won
No.
the Champions League and had
Yeah,
better
she was playing.
stats?
She was playing the tournament in both.
That's also a robbery.
What do you mean? That she? Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I was about
to-
that's showing they're going for narrative over facts.
Of course. I mean,
No.
to be, and it's a good. I mean, I like the narrative. I'm not mad at it, but I wouldn't have wanted it this way. The first,
No,
you know,
for
three-time
sure.
winner for the
Mhm.
women's Ballon d'Or is
Yeah,
great.
You have to earn it.
But Caldente won in the Champions League,
Yep.
won the Euros, scored in the Euro, or she didn't win the Euros, but scored in the Euros final.
Mhm.
Even Russo,
Russo had a good
yeah,
shot.
she
too.
was top goal scorer in the WSL. Scored, or she was like, she didn't score in it, but instrumental in the Euro campaign
Yeah,
for
she won
England.
the double. Yeah.
So it's just, I think football is a narrative, game, and it's important that we have these narratives, and it's great
Not
when
for
you see these
awards.
kind of things, but not for awards.
No.
I think whoever deserves it
That's
deserves it. If you're meant to have it, you'll get it next
But
year.
guess what? It's
I
a
agree.
journalist award.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I've seen a lot of people saying like, how much women's football do these journalists actually watch?
Mm.
And it wasn't just the top 2 ranking. It was like as you go through this.
There
list
was a lot
some
of
the other
controversy about
awards.
that too, because
There's
for
a lot of controversy
for the
about
men's
it.
award, it's the top 100 nations in FIFA, but for the women's award, it's the top 50.
Yeah.
So it's a lot smaller sample pool of over
Mhm.
where you're getting responses on who wins.
hmm
And that can even 10 more reporters could be the difference between
Yeah.
Caldente or
It's
Bonmat.
huge.
Yeah. So
It's huge, bro.
I think there needs to be more transparency on both sides because
Yeah.
it's still anonymous on which reporters are picked. I don't know how they kind of enforce lack of bias and credibility with that, but it's I personally I agree.
Yeah,
I don't think the
Caldente
narrative
gotta
was
win
there.
And the fact that they're on the same national team, they went equally
Yeah.
far in Europe together.
Yeah.
But then one beat the other in the Champions League final with better stats and was the WSL Player of the Year.
She
And
was,
made it her back-to-back Champions League because she won with Barca and then she won with.
and she did switching leagues. She was at
Barcelona.
Barcelona last year, came in.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Adjusting in a
And then-
new league and become
That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's unfair, especially with the injury part too.
100%.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
Caldente, I give her some credit because one thing about a lot of Spanish players is that they love to stay in their comfort zone a little bit. That's why Zubimendi stayed at Sociedad for so long.
Yeah.
And so she basically adjusted to a new country, new league, didn't miss a beat at all.
Got better,
And
low key.
Yeah, it got better.
So
Yeah.
personally, even without Arsenal bias, I think Alessia Russo had a good case.
Oh,
I think
for sure.
Caldente had a good
100%.
case. But I won't knock Aitana Bonmati because I think she's a great ambassador for the
Yeah,
game
yeah,
in
yeah.
the world. Like that Spanish women's national side, I love them. Salma Perluelo as well.
Oh, of course.
Like they've been great just ambassadors for the game. And like even though I'm an Arsenal fan, I'm not completely like super mad that she
Yeah,
won.
that's fair.
So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean, if you look at the history of women's football, if someone were to have three, it's somebody like her, Putellas, and then Marta. How does Marta not have three?
I was gonna say like
Is it new?
that was just gonna
Yeah.
be the next point. Darian Jenkins made a good point
Yeah.
on the CBS broadcast.
Yeah,
She's
I saw
talking about
that.
it.
She was basically saying how like CONCACAF, CONMEBOL, and CAF, like there's just like a lot. They're just overlooked
Yeah,
lots of
heavy.
times, and like obviously Marta never having won a Ballon d'Or
I gotta look up
is
why.
insane, given that like all she's done for Brazil,
Yeah.
all she's done in the NWSL, even
Mhm.
like coming and winning the league last year with Orlando.
Yeah.
Having retired from the Brazilian national team, and then
Crazy
saying
going-
like she
crazy
gonna
going
come
to
back
quarterfinals.
if they need me,
Sure.
come back, and then winning. So it's like you can kind of just see it's very apparent like the European bias, and at the end of the day, it's like it's a French award,
Mhm.
so like you can only be so mad to be like, oh, it's like it's biased,
Right.
but it's more so like how we interpret what the award means. If we're really
Oh.
saying like this is like the voice of the world, then of course. But like if you take it for what it is as a French award, it's like okay. It
I know
makes
what you're gonna
sense.
say. It
Yeah.
just started.
I was gonna say
It's
I
very-
was
it's
gonna make
relatively
sure.
recent.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
started in 2018,
Mhm.
but Marta does have 6 FIFA World Player of the Year awards, which at that time was the same thing as a women's Ballon d'Or.
Mm.
I will say though, shout out Vicky Lopez.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
Spain
We're gonna get into that too.
Spain swept
Listen.
on the Kopa trophies.
That's a
and
fact.
Super deserved. I wouldn't have been mad if. I mean, I think Ajumain didn't do enough during the league campaign to do that, but she was great during.
No, no way.
Yeah,
no
but
way.
Vicky
She
Lopez-
just burst onto
Yeah,
the scene,
Vicky
I'd
Lopez
say.
was great.
She's unbelievable.
She a lot
yeah.
of more representation across the awards. I mean,
Yeah.
Lamina obviously there's no doubt on that one,
Yeah.
but I'm super happy to see it.
Also, shout out Hannah Hampton, first women's Yashin
Yeah.
winner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First ever time
a
they did the
fact.
trophy. She earned it.
Like I'm happy there's more equity for women's football. I think it's
Yeah.
growing. There's Deloitte actually did a study that said women's football is going to be one of the top 5 like sports overall because football is obviously
Yeah.
the biggest sport in the world.
Yeah.
And women's football is only growing. And so Hannah Hampton, the WSL is growing as well. Like it's a great time to be a women's football fan. It's
Yeah.
only up from here.
And like it
Up
was
the
very
Chelsea.
I was yeah.
Up
They-
the
they
Chelsea.
used to call it.
Up the
Right.
Chelsea.
I'll say it's also very poetic for her to receive the trophy from Mary Earps
Mhm.
and what she's done
Yeah.
for women's goalkeeping, making it cool. And I think it was the 2023 Women's Euros, 2022,
2022.
summer 22, because we were at the semifinals actually.
That, joint
That was the
crazy.
first time they were selling women's goalkeeping jerseys because they usually don't sell the
Wow.
jerseys, or it was the Women's World Cup. One of the two.
Yeah.
And Mary
Yeah.
Earps was the reason for that. And remember, we saw like the parents wearing it.
Yeah.
And then Nike or whoever it was said, okay, we have to manufacture enough to actually
They
sell
sold
this
out.
because they usually never sell the Women's World Cup.
Yeah,
stuff.
sold out quick too. I remember that.
You got something right here.
I appreciate it.
Keeping it in.
I was trying to do it quietly. But
Nah,
you
bro,
pay
keeping this in the
attention.
recording. We couldn't see it. It's not on
That's cool, bro.
that. My favorite part of the Ballon d'Or ceremony overall, always to me, is just like the human element of it.
Mhm.
So seeing Dembele up there in tears, then the camera pans to his mom and his pops, a grown African man with like actual pineapple chunk tears flowing down his face.
That
Dembele
was
made
his pops.
pops, yeah.
His pops look mad young.
And his mom looked mad young too.
Yeah,
But like
I thought that was his
Bro,
brother or something.
his mom looked mad young too. Black
Yeah,
don't
facts.
crack, you know the vibes. And like
That's a fact.
on some real shit, has he ever seen his dad cry?
Mm.
Is that deep? No, on some real shit.
Yeah,
Has he
that's
ever?
Steve.
A lot of
think about
guys,
that.
like a lot of athletes, especially from those type of backgrounds, were like, no, I've actually never seen my dad cry besides those type of moments. So like
Yeah.
to see the life culmination in that moment is beautiful. His homies in the top 2, he was
Yeah.
cheering him on from the little city outside of Paris that he's from. And then you think about the injuries he went through, suffering 16 at his time at Barcelona.
Yeah.
And then speaking of Barcelona, Lamine pulling up with his entire family, this
Right.
18-year-old who almost won the Ballon d'Or, and I'm sure he's going to get one. So, like, seeing the human element and these guys who I know probably don't take enough time to live in the present and, like, realize what they're doing and to just soak it all in of how much work you put in to get there. I think it's also a beautiful lesson for all of us. Even in this room, we're all super busy doing a million things, but you got to just like, I'm actually doing it, bro. And I feel like that's a night that these players do that and you see the human side of football that sometimes goes missing.
I was going to say, the thing I love about Dembele winning the award, and I think Yamal is an amazing player.
Yeah.
But Dembele is the first, and I saw this on Twitter as well. Dembele is kind of the first player where we've seen his career kind of grow up, at least my generation.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause I remember being a teenager in middle
That's true.
in middle school, buying him on my
That's
FIFA
true.
16 career mode when he was the
Five-star.
little youngster
Yeah.
at Stad Bren with Jeremy Bogo. He used to play
Yeah.
Chelsea's academy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then we saw him go to Dortmund, Barcelona. Now he's dominating at PSG.
Yeah.
And I always kind of have that, I don't want to say emotional attachment, but I told you guys why I love Martinelli, because I'm like, when I was a little teenager, we kind of grew up together, the tough times,
Age-wise,
Arsenal,
yeah.
that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so seeing someone who, like, Dembele is only a couple years older than me, but
Yeah.
like just
Yeah.
being able to kind of grow up as his career progresses, like
Yeah.
it's something magical to see.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Messi debuted when I was 3 years old. So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I wasn't
Yeah.
watching him
Damn.
against Malaga in 2005. So
Yeah.
It's true. And he's like, Dembele is literally like, without being corny, he's like the player of the people, bro.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he's one of those
100%.
players
No,
that
he
like
is.
there's obviously the Messi Ronaldo debate, like people hate on one of them or the other, but
It's hard to hate him.
Dembele is actually like, you can't not like him, bro.
Yeah.
And he works his fucking ass
Yeah,
off. What are you gonna say about it?
after
Like,
seeing like everything that he's gone through, like for years, we've been like, "Yo, Dembele's injured again." Bro.
Yeah.
Like it's always been like, "Oh, like what he could be, the potential." Da 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 da. So
Yeah.
to see it, it's like you actually can't like football and be upset.
And I don't
You can't.
well, I don't want to play into narratives too much as well, but I think Lamine Yamal's dad, Hustle Hard 304. What's his name?
Pops is
Like-
wild and
like-
he needs to relax. a
Well,
little
he
bit.
came out and said something about like he didn't call it a robbery, but he said like
It's
He
an
said it was
emotional
like
theft.
yeah.
Oh, he said it was like a moral,
But I-
A moral theft
like-
or emotional theft.
I think
yeah.
he has to realize not everyone is Michael Owen, who's winning the Ballon d'Or at 18. Like
Yeah.
Yamal probably has 18 more years of his career to do great things. And the thing is, that's not always a guarantee, because we saw Ansu Fati
Yeah.
was one of the best players in the world,
Yep.
the same age, and we've seen how his career has gone.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I
Knock on
Yamal,
wood.
Yamal,
Yeah,
Yamal's
he's
gonna have
improving
time.
now. We're gonna talk about that later with Monaco.
Yamal's gonna have time.
Yeah.
I don't even
so-
think Yamal's tight like that, bro. I don't think
his
he's
dad's
like.
just outspoken.
His
Huh?
dad's
His
just
dad-
No, and you respect it out of like how much like
Yeah.
the pops loves his son and how much he.
But at some point,
No,
you
he's
gotta
doing a lot.
chill,
It's
bro.
like Halliburton's pops was doing too much
or
with
fucking
Giannis.
Gio Reyna.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like at some point,
And it's
like,
not-
you
and
could
it's-
actually be damaging to your kids.
But you know what has to happen? The kid has to step in and be like, "Yo, pops, chill."
Yeah, like, please.
LeVar Ball. Remember LeVar Ball?
Yeah.
Dude was on press runs.
Yeah.
And then Lonzo and LaMelo would be like, "Yo, pops, we love you. Chill
Right.
out, fam."
But it's also
and
like-
people never got those sneakers.
He's growing.
so.
He's growing into. He's growing into.
Literally.
He's growing into himself as a person and as a brand.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it's fully hit him. Like he's a brand yet. He's just
Yeah.
a kid having fun. And
Yeah.
I want to take from that.
He's like a junior in high school.
Yeah. The thing I
Yeah.
will say though is that to see how much France unified around Dembele during that,
good,
like
yeah.
the celebrations of how they were trying to reach out for the trophy, and they were like,
Yeah, that
I've
was-
only seen that. I've only seen that type of love when like ultras come out and they win a derby or they
Yeah.
win a trophy. So to see him kind of unify, and we've seen French ultra culture, it's insane. So to see them all unify and say, hey, our countrymen, our black countrymen, so, you know, an African who's
Mhm.
immigrated here has, you know, has won the
Sheesh.
trophy for us.
Yeah.
First French player, and I don't even know how long. Zidane, I think, was the last one.
Karim Benzema.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
2020.
Completely
He's
on-
big body bangs.
Yeah,
He's the only the third or fourth Frenchman.
that's what I'm saying. But
Platini, Perrine, Benzema. I think there's like only been 5 or 6,
Yeah.
something
Did
like
Pap-
that.
the- again, but the
Papin-
first-
Jean-Pierre Papin.
I think that's who it was.
in
Papin.
93.
Platini had 3 in a row actually. Benzema 2022. Oh, Zidane as well.
Zidane as well.
And then so it's like 5 or
but
6.
again, the
something
first like
that.
the first like visit like African French.
Yeah,
yeah,
first,
yeah.
It's
Well,
huge for him.
dark skinned man, dark skinned man.
Dark-
Just
yeah.
put it that way.
That's because Zidane was.
Dark-skinned niggas.
I was saying because Zizou African, bro.
it's
Zizou's
true.
very
He's
African.
You're right.
West Africa, yeah, fact.
But no, I think it's
And that's what what Mama said. Like, this is Africa.
Yeah, she said it's going to Senegal. She said it's going to Senegal.
Taking it everywhere. I
So
love
yeah,
that.
I'm excited to
That's
see it.
fire.
Hopefully, Mbappe's going crazy this year.
Oh,
I
he's
would
got
not
it.
be mad to
Yeah,
see him win a
yeah.
Ballon d'Or.
He's first right now.
Bro, but
Very early.
and the
he's
narrative, bro,
first.
the narrative, like the way they brought him into this, they're like, oh, how did Dembele win one before Mbappe, bro?
First of all, I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with that at all.
When they were both 18, the potential levels were pretty similar.
Very similar.
And then one got super injured, and the other one was like winning World Cups and just breaking every
Dembele was
stat.
on that World Cup team, by the way.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
the impact was
Of course. Yeah.
not remotely comparable.
Of course.
But one just like has been damn near perfect, and
Yeah.
the other one has a bit of a rocky
But I think
start.
that's
But
what people
now,
are trying to see.
and now they're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
No.
mean, at certain points, it is crazier to think like, but Dembele, Barcelona, where Mbappe was, that's crazy. But I think if you go pure talent and potential,
Oh,
you would have thought they could both win it when they were teenagers, because they were both France's two crazy wingers.
Yeah.
And now,
I
and it's
agree.
cool to see all the Frenchmen who are also nominated, like Mbappe, be super happy for Dembele.
Yeah.
There's no
The love was great. Even
know what I'm
Mbappe
saying?
was like, that's my brother.
That's what I'm
Everyone.
saying.
It was
Like,
beautiful.
yeah,
It was beautiful.
100%.
I
got a
will
spot,
also
man.
say this too, because I was in Nice last year during the French elections, and I remember when Mbappe
Subtle
and the
flex.
whole French.
My bad.
Nah, I
South of
remember when like it's a pivotal moment for France right now, because when Rally National, which is like the far right party over there,
I
was
there
leading
too.
was leading in the election.
Yeah.
You remember when
was
Mbappe and all
tense,
them
bro.
came out and
Yeah.
spoke out against it.
Yeah.
And
Chouameni
so
too, right?
to see a black Frenchman win the Ballon d'Or
Yeah.
and essentially lead PSG to the Champions League after all really what the country's been through, I think it's a special moment.
And him being handed the Ballon d'Or by the last black man to win the Ballon d'Or in 2005, Ronaldinho, who also played with the same two clubs of Barcelona and PSG. And then Dembele is also, I believe, only the third ever openly practicing Muslim to win it as well.
Yeah.
Zidane, Karim Benzema, and then him.
Bro, I
So
love
lots of history.
Specifically, I love that story with Ronaldinho because
Yeah.
I was telling you like earlier, but it's crazy how like flipped it was. It's like one from PSG to Barcelona and then vice versa. But in first year they settle, second year dominate, win a Ballon d'Or,
And
then winning the UCL, the World Cup, all these different things. And I think more so what they stood for, like despite the media criticism, despite all the pressure that was put on them, they played a game very freely. They played a game how they want to play. They express themselves. I think it was very. I'm glad that it was him who did it. Because either way, even if it went to Lamine, like, or if it went to Raphinha, there's connection all of them. But I think it was really full circle to see that. And, you always love to see that in football.
Yeah.
100%. Some other award winners. So again, Ballon d'Or, Dembele and Bonmati. Club of the Year, men's PSG, women's Arsenal. Super simple, I think. Champions League winners.
Yeah.
Striker of the Year by Gerd Müller award. A little bit of debate there. Jokeris for the men's, Ewa Pajor for the women. The Jokeris one was a little interesting considering
Jokeris
Kane, Mbappe. I don't know if they classified Mbappe as a striker that year because he did win the European Golden Boot because they'd taken into
I would have
account
given it to Kane.
the coefficient.
I think I would have given it to Kane.
I
too.
say
I would have
Kane.
given it to Kane.
Yeah.
Probably
Even
Kane.
as an Arsenal fan, I would've
Yeah,
given it to
because the competition level is very different.
Bro.
Very
Bro,
different.
and he was on pace to break like he
No,
broke many
Kane's
records.
career is ridiculous.
Oh,
Even
yeah,
he's
for
saying
sure.
that, and he's
Yeah.
an Arsenal fan.
Yeah.
I'll always give Harry Kane credit because I have a lot of memories of him scoring in the North London Derby.
Yeah, it's respect. Like,
So,
he's ridiculous.
Like I think it comes at a point where you just have to respect greatness.
Yeah.
Even Jordan fans got to respect LeBron.
And vice versa,
True.
100%.
Harry Kane's had an amazing career, and it's unfortunate because he suffers from the same thing that Gary Lineker did. Two great Spurs strikers, but they didn't win anything. Well,
Yeah.
he just won the Bundesliga.
Bundesliga, yeah.
But Gary Lineker, in my opinion, is one of the greatest players of all time. But
Hey.
people don't really put him in those discussions
Yeah.
because all he has is
Trophy winner.
a Copa del
Del
Rey,
Rey with
an
Barca,
FA
yeah.
Cup,
Yep.
and that's it. And
Mm-hmm.
so if I feel like Harry Kane's gonna win a lot in Germany,
Yeah.
but
Maybe a Champions League.
yeah, maybe.
They look really good to start the year.
Maybe a World Cup too.
Mm.
England's my favorites this year. I know Spain, but
Favorite?
Favorites
I don't think
OD.
you can say
Favorites-
favorite.
Favorites OD.
well, they're my pick, not the
Okay.
favorites,
I was
but
say because there's no way betting odds. Betting odds is going to be.
Nah, he's
Fran-
just saying his
Yeah,
favorite.
no. I was saying. I was
think it's-
helping him clarify.
I think it's England or you guys because I really like Spain.
Yeah. I say
Um,
Spain, France, Argentina are the three.
Fuck Argentina.
I agree.
No,
but damn, they're gonna get far.
I
know they
agree,
are.
but they're a good team.
Yeah, I super dislike them.
What was I saying about
for the story, bro? For the story, Brazil back in America. I would love to see Brazil winning at home.
I wouldn't be mad. I mean, I want Spain out.
Brazil's going through a dark patch,
Bro,
right now.
okay, but the thing is, you can never count Brazil out.
Sure.
It is, yeah.
Well,
never-
recently you
you
definitely
can
can't
never
count
count
Okay, yeah. But last World Cup, that Croatia game was just super.
Yeah,
that was.
bro. Once Neymar scores, like this should have been the moment.
Bro,
was so tight.
you know, we got robbed from a Brazil Argentina semifinal. Well, I wouldn't say robbed. Croatia deserved it, but like to see that would have been. That would have been.
Well, the
such a
Dutch
crazy
should have
game.
beat Argentina too. Is a whole nother
Yeah.
discussion. We ain't gotta get into all that
Without
right now.
Weghorst.
But other trophies,
Yo.
Yashin,
Bro,
first
as a
one.
United fan, I was
I'm
so
crying.
excited.
Yashin Trophy, my fault. Once again, Hannah Hampton, first woman to ever win it. And it's only the 6th year for the men's award, too, so it is a relatively
Yeah,
new
it's
trophy.
still
But Donnarumma won it. I think we all agree. He got the treble. He was massive
Yeah.
against Liverpool.
Nasty.
Who do you think should have won it?
I was gonna say David Raya. I think David Raya.
But,
Whoa.
yo, he was doing so well as an Arsenal fan, and then it comes out in moments like that.
I think
Outta
Raya
here,
finished
bro.
second in voting though.
That's fine. Not first.
But no, I think Donnarumma's like a deserved winner, but I think Raya had a case to be made.
I'm not
with
gonna
no trophies is
next.
crazy.
Next.
Nah.
Next. I would have said Courtois had a better shout because Madrid's defense was shit.
Yeah.
Cruyff Trophy, Coach of the Year, Luis Enrique and Sabrina Weigmann. So a club coach and a national team coach. But I think it's fair, especially because that England squad wasn't as talented, I would say, as their last Euros win.
Agreed.
And they had to pull it out the mud, crazy
Also,
comebacks,
yeah,
including against my girls, which was very sad in the final. But
Also, shout out Michelle Ajimang.
yes,
because
of course.
I
The
think
super sub, that's great management. Yeah.
It's unfortunate because she never got the credit that she deserved. Like,
Yeah.
when the royal family posted the
That was crazy.
graphic
Yeah,
before
yeah.
the final,
Yeah.
she was left off, and I'm like, she scored in all of the knockout games.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that at least the world gives her flowers,
Yep.
but she never really got her flowers from like the organizations that beat
Yeah. From the
Yeah.
British side of things, 100%.
I would say another shout for the coach of the year should be Justine Madugu from Nigeria.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The
Won the
women's
women's
Af-
AFCON.
the women's AFCON team. Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that women's AFCON team went undefeated the
Yeah.
entire tournament. They conceded like one goal the entire tournament. Obviously, the Ballon d'Or may not weigh the women's AFCON as heavily as other competitions in Europe, but I would have gave it to him personally.
Oh, fair. I mean, I think it was either Bonmati's second or her first, but Asisat Oshoala, when she was at, bro, she was so, I think
Yeah, she was third in voting, right?
third in voting.
She was with Barca and they won
Yeah,
the
third in
treble.
voting because they also, I don't know if it was an AFCON year, but the last AFCON Nigeria had won anyways.
Yeah.
She went crazy. I think Barcelona was one game away from having a perfect season.
Yep.
But I don't know. It's like, because when you think about it in the case of like the men's Ballon d'Or, if you're a striker, if you're the one who's scoring goals, then
Yeah.
you're the one who takes it.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see how that rhetoric didn't apply on that. Or like Asa Oshola didn't even get like the same, like, oh, she should be going for first.
Right.
Because of the narrative around like an African player. But
Yeah.
I mean, she was lethal that year. I think it was the same year that Osimhen got nominated as well, and he
Yeah.
won Scudetto. So we take the wins where we can, but it's like you can't take those wins. You can't take those wins without acknowledging.
It's
that
also
super
hard
short.
because
Exactly.
the financial investment in women's African football is far less than women's
Yeah.
European football. So it's not at the same, like women's AFCON is just not as established, for instance, as men's AFCON.
Yeah.
Because of a delayed investment, which makes that tournament, and like all these awards, these tournaments, everything, these clubs, it's younger.
Yeah.
So they have less history too. So Europe was like the leaders in the beginning of women's football, which is why Germany has a few World Cups. I think Sweden has
Yeah.
one. China actually got a couple too.
What do I-
And so like they're just also more established, which means certain countries, it's harder now to dominate Europe than any other location in women's
Yeah.
football because so many of those countries have invested.
Right.
When in Africa that hasn't happened yet too. So it's also just different when just like the age of things is so young.
Yeah.
Even women, US women's national team started what, like 91 or something?
Yeah.
Like super early. So I think it's gonna take some time for it to finally kind of even out. But I know
that's why it's
eventually it
important.
will.
We're like
Yeah.
heritage is important in football. And it's more
Yeah.
to acknowledge it, but like we can't let it blind.
No.
Exactly.
Because I mean, because even in the case of like U.S. women's national, like Megan Rapinoe won, and I think she was the second winner maybe of it, or she was one of the earlier winners.
Yeah,
to
she
win it.
was second.
But like her again, like coming from a nation like the U.S. is not known as a footballing nation, but like her narrative, her stuff off the pitch as well. I think all that kind of helped to create this case around her, and they did it in that time. But like again,
well, I would say U.S. is a footballing nation in women's football.
it is now.
For
It is-
sure.
no, it is now.
2019?
In 2019, yeah, because
Yeah,
it just came off the World Cup, yeah.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I don't know. Again, it's like how many? I mean, Nigeria has 8 AFCONs,
Yeah,
women's
of
AFCONs.
course.
So it's like the same. You could say that Nigeria is a footballing nation.
No, they are
Yeah,
100%.
100%.
I think what we're saying is that the women's AFCON unfortunately doesn't have enough
Yeah.
support across the rest of the continent
No,
But I
because
feel
of how
like
young it
that's-
is.
But I feel like that's even more of an argument to be like, yeah, we haven't had the same like financing, we haven't had the same support. Madugu wasn't even like a known coach before he took
Yeah.
on this role.
Yeah,
Pulled
facts.
up and went undefeated. You know what I'm saying? And
That's
I
what I'm
like, you can't, like Moosey trying to say, like you can't minimize, kind of just like the lack of investment or the lack of heritage, and not weigh that against like or let that weigh down the accomplishment.
I think it's the same
accomplishment.
reason some people think Gyökeres shouldn't have won Striker of the Year is the competition in Portugal. I'm saying people are probably using that as an argument with women's
I
AFCON.
understand.
Which I'm not saying
Yeah,
is great. I'm
no.
giving you the perspective of.
I agree, but I think it's
of
important to
people
just like contextualize it because, for example, like Dembele winning that, the generation of like young.
And some people say Ligue 1 too. Like
Yeah,
that's
of
why
course,
Raphinha should
exactly.
have won. Yeah,
They were saying that, especially after Mbappe left. Like they were like, "Oh,
Yeah,
what are
Ligue
you
1
gonna do
shit,
about it?"
yeah.
Yeah, but I think you can't let the moment go by that if
No, of
a
course.
Nigerian woman wins the Ballon d'Or, like the ripple effect it will
of
have on like
course.
African soccer, and it
of
will
course.
happen. It will happen. I want to see Melchi Dumerne win a Ballon d'Or.
Exactly.
You know,
man,
if she wins one, bro, she's such a baller. But
she has a
I'm
chance.
saying I think we forget like the ripple effect that happens because of one moment. It's like,
Oh, of
it's like how the
course.
NBA was with the 1992 Olympics.
Mhm.
Whatever that moment is for African football in general, but specifically for women's African
Yeah.
football, if it's a woman winning, an African woman winning the Ballon
Yeah.
d'Or or whatever it is,
It'll happen.
World Cup. So it might happen this World Cup, but
yeah,
I think that's important. That we
even
should-
a black woman. Period. too.
yeah,
And
it's
as a-
important we just
and-
contextualize those moments. What I was
And
trying
as
to.
a journalist, these are things that you should be weighing in. If we're gonna be talking about all these storylines and the weight of narratives,
They shouldn't.
these
weigh
are all
narratives, I don't
things.
think,
But I'm saying they do.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So
But
it's
if
like
you're,
if
it's like
we-
if you're
if
gonna
we
weigh the
do-
narratives, weigh the narrative. I
Yeah.
agree. I agree.
You can't pick and choose which narrative. You have
No,
to, you have to
exactly,
make every
exactly.
narrative.
You either do full narrative or what you're supposed to do is go completely objective on who's the best. But that's why we're gonna get into the BN segment is like, what is the value of this award? Because it is journalists. It's not former Ballon d'Or winners and the current best players and like Mourinho and Ancelotti voting.
Yeah.
But also,
It's-
like journalists what else are you gonna do?
That's what I'm saying.
What do you mean?
Like
You could have former coaches and players.
yeah, but like they're also gonna be biased as fuck. They're gonna
Sure,
be like,
sure.
"Oh, my heart.
Well, some
belongs to
people-
Barca."
That's fair, but I
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, but then the journalists also have the national identity, which is why.
But that's what I'm saying. I think either you say who the journalists are. There has to be some.
No,
sort
there
of-
should-
There has to be some.
So,
sort
and
of
there's no
NBA
perfect system. Is
No,
kind
there's
of
no
my
perfect.
point.
I think also
It's cooked either way.
cooked.
the
It's
NBA,
gonna get
the-
criticized.
The
either
NBA,
way.
the journalists do have to be public. So Stephen A. will tell you who he voted for.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I think it needs to be more public. And I do think former players and coaches, executives, etc., should have a say. I
I
definitely
think the
so.
players are gonna be way more biased.
Yeah,
bro.
I think
If
it
you
should
play
be.
for Real Madrid your entire career,
Yeah.
you're gonna vote for a
It has to be a curated mix. It has to be
I
curated.
don't think that's necessarily true
Like,
because
not
journalists are
necess-
also lifelong fans of whatever team.
Yeah, but like they have a lot more journalistic integrity in theory. Like they write for a living.
That
They
theory
think
got
about.
deconstructed.
I was
What
gonna
do you
say,
mean?
isn't the NBA All-Star voting like 50% of it's like journalists, the other half is
Well,
like
NBA All-Stars
players?
bullshit.
Like-
That's
like
like half
fan-
fans.
yeah,
That's
fan-
like
fan-
and
that
then,
shit
like,
is
Wait,
just-
what's wrong with the fan vote?
No, I wasn't
No,
saying like
All-Stars
fan
different,
vote, but like
All-Stars
maybe like
different.
weigh the percentages like
Yeah,
half
yeah.
journalists,
Yeah.
half like players or something like
Yeah.
that.
Basically, we need to come up with our own award.
I think it should be. I think
We've
it
done
should
that
be.
before.
I think it should be a mix. Like I think like
Yeah, I just think there should be some, because I don't know. What? Oh yeah.
All right, next. Who's
Word.
left?
Well, okay. Lastly, we have the Kopa
Kopa.
Trophy. 2 young black Spanish players winning it. So you already know what I'm about to talk about.
Vamos.
Black Spanish representation. For those who don't understand, yo soy un mitad español. It's very simple. When you have a parent from a country, you take on the nationality. So y'all can stop coming at me telling me I'm not Spanish. Anyways, we're
You're
gonna
gonna
talk
say
about.
it again. It
That's
doesn't
in
fucking
crack. That's in
matter.
crack.
I'm gonna say it again. But
Negros, los negros.
one thing I tried to explain with the Lamine clip the first time that y'all didn't understand is how football is very informative and educational.
Yeah.
And to have 2 young black Spanish players winning these awards is giving you insight onto a changing demographic in this country that you may not have known before, because this is not going to be something you randomly learn about on the news or scrolling, etc. But you're seeing it through a sport, therefore creating more visibility and representation to a population in that country. One of them being first off, y'all be forgetting, Lamine Yamal is half Equatorial Guinean. He is not only Moroccan. He is as Equatorial Guinean as he is Moroccan. So all the people saying he's just Moroccan, no, he's not. Y'all are discounting his dark-skinned black mother, which gets into a whole nother discussion on Arab versus. We don't gotta get into that right now. And then Vicky is mixed with Spanish and Nigerian. But these are populations in the country that, for all those different backgrounds, the mixed race girl and the one that's, I guess, mixed race, but through Arab and Black, that those populations go through certain things in that country. I've experienced it being a Black person visiting Spain, even though I'm Black and Spanish. So what is the point of all this to say is that it's educating you on learning about the changing demographic and the fact that that specific demographic goes through specific difficult times in that country. And so having people at the top representing them can change how people are treated. And if y'all can't understand why it's important that people should be treated well, I can't help you.
Talk to him.
Talk to him.
And that'll be it for the Ballon d'Or segment.
That's fair.
Preach.
I think Yilda should have won the.
All right, and we're bringing Josh on the pod.
Miles to a skeleton.
I'm crying. Y'all good?
Substitution.
It's facts. Quick little substitution.
Put me in, coach.
Josh is
Hey,
in.
shit,
You know what
fam.
I'm
We
saying?
need to win.
Wussy will be back as well, and we're gonna rotate the formation.
We need to
Don't
win the
even worry
game.
about
We need to win the game.
That's a fact.
coach.
But Amir, appreciate you coming on.
Said you
Before we
can't
get
win the
out of
game.
here, though, we got to talk about the business of football. I know there's a lot of different business elements that you like to talk about: the marketing side, branding, the Scandinavian growth, etc. So anything you want to get off here, bro? I know there's a lot that you've been wanting to.
I want to
mention.
also add your personal favorite for footy and finance, bro, within the footy
Yeah,
space. You know what
it's a
I'm saying?
fact.
Be doing your thing.
Thank
Dior
you.
Deposit.
Thank you.
Dior Deposit.
I
Love the
the
name
history
too.
page. Thank you. It's been an interesting week just within the English game. I think I've been like on a big rabbit hole, I guess, on Scandinavian football. There's a story that I think needs to be talked about more. Malby in the Swedish Allsvenskan. They come from a village that's 800 people, one of the smallest teams in the league, and they're running away with the Swedish league this year.
Wow.
I
I did not know that.
yeah, it's like no one's talking about it, but I think it needs to be talked about more because when people think of Sweden, I think the one casual team everybody knows is probably Malmö.
Yeah.
Sure.
Now Bodo Glimt a little bit.
Well, they're Norway.
Oh, I'm tweaking. See, that's my yeah.
But I was gonna say there's a high probability they're gonna be in the second qualifying round of the Champions League, and like this year with how UEFA reformed the Champions League following the Super League, there's a lot more money involved, and the money disparity between the Champions League, the Europa League, and the Conference League is like major. Like when you guys won the Conference League last
Yes.
year, you only made 12 million euros,
Yeah.
whereas Slovan Bratislava, who didn't win a league phase game in the Champions League, still made 32. Like the money disparity is like crazy. And so when you see teams like Bodo Glimt making the league phase, Galatasaray has kind of been an anomaly because they're like a big brand. But like a Slovan Bratislava, for example, that money that they make by qualifying for the league phase is life changing
Yeah.
because Norwegian football, like Bodo Glimt, like their transfers are like 300,000 euros. Like
Yeah.
it's just small because it's a smaller league. But to have 30 million euros in revenue coming in, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
And two, I think if Bodo Glimt does well, I do want to talk about Bodo a little bit because if Bodo Glimt does well in the Champions League this year, the top 15 places in the UEFA country coefficient get 2 Champions League spots. And so right now Norway is like 12th. Like they're above Turkey, they're above Czech Republic, like Slavia, Sparta, leagues that we know these bigger teams are coming from. And so if Norway has 2 teams in the Champions League
That's
next
crazy.
year,
Yeah.
like it's interesting.
They
Like
could literally change another team's whole
like
history
yeah,
trajectory.
I always have a soft spot for Scandinavia, and I've told you and Seb this because nowadays we're seeing a lot of superstars, Alexander Isak, Martin Odegaard, Erling Haaland, come from these Scandinavian like academies, even Victor Gyökeres.
Sorloth too, balling out with Atletico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Alexander Sorloth. But I think the club teams from those countries don't really get enough shine.
Yeah.
And I'm not comparing it to Cristiano Ronaldo, but I think as Ronaldo came from Sporting Lisbon, obviously that gave Liga Portugal a lot more credibility in
100%.
terms of like
Yeah.
developing the academy and stuff. And so people started buying more from Benfica, Porto, Sporting Lisbon, Famalicão, like these
Yep.
Portuguese teams. And so I think with the right infrastructure and investment, like Scandinavian leagues can be good because it's not like they're bad places to live.
No.
Like Denmark has one of the highest qualities of lives in the world. I think they
Yeah.
have
They
it like the high Denmark and Sweden have like
Yeah.
1 and 2.
They got good
Um,
prisons. They got good prisons out
Their
there.
Yeah,
prisons
it's like,
look like our
bro, you see the
Airbnbs, bro.
prisons, dudes that flat screens.
You go to prison, you got the weed, you got the switch
Word.
on you.
Chilling.
Like it's
Playing
not like the
Mario
dudes on
Kart.
TikTok with the blur phones.
yeah, definitely not that.
They
But
got the iPads.
Everything.
But like, I think if they're marketed better, and especially because Norway and Sweden have summer leagues, so it's kind of challenging for them because the temperatures in the winter are crazy. Like,
That's a great point.
can't play football there. I think like if they have the right investment in infrastructure, they can be challenging for the. I'm not going to say they're going to challenge the Big Five, but they can be in that top 10 of the country coefficient, and they can like be producing the next generation of superstars. I mean, they already are producing the next
Yeah,
generation.
I'll say
but, like,
Norway specifically. They
Yeah.
have a squad, bro.
I think Norway, if they qualify for the World Cup, I think
they
they're
should.
going to be
They're gonna be
dark
dangerous.
horse.
Yeah.
Aren't they leading the group with Italy in it?
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Even
Italy-
just Odegaard and Haaland on one team alone, that little 1-2 punch,
They beat
you got a
Mold-
chance, man.
they beat was it Moldova or Andorra? They have the same flag, but
Yeah.
they beat them 11-1 or 11-0, not even 11-1.
Yeah, I think
the
Moldova was.
qualifiers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
smoked them.
But Asgard, who plays for Rangers, scored 4, and then Holland, obviously, it's Erling Haaland.
Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah.
But
Nasty work.
that's my little business minute.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I
that's
love it,
bro.
bro. Interesting perspective.
I have
for
a
sure.
question for you. I want to know
Okay.
your thought. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, just like the bubble
Oh,
of
the
like the
inflation.
transfer market right
Mhm.
now. Like players going like Isak going for 160, 170 mil, freaking Wirtz going for 120 some mil. Like just players like who the last 10 years we would never imagine that they'd be going for over 100 million, let alone 100. Like, do you have fears or predictions or thoughts about just like the future of spending, particularly on like big names
Yeah.
in the future? Do you think it's going to continue to rise exponentially? Do you think it's at some point there's going to be a level set? Like, what do you think the finances in the future look like?
So I think my answer is that it's going to grow exponentially, but my
Mm.
feelings are different.
Mm.
Okay.
Because I love to look at the game kind of European wise, and I
Yeah.
hate the Americanization of like a European sport. Like I hated when the Glazers came to Manchester United and tried to put the American spin on a historic club.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I'd hate for a salary cap to ever get implemented
Oh.
in football. Like I'd hate that.
Well, it'd be low key. I feel like it needs more a transfer cap than salary.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But still, yeah.
But I think it's as like football's still growing. I know that sounds crazy to say
It is,
because it's
yeah.
the biggest sport in the world, but it's still growing. Like the Premier League, it's obviously huge in Europe and it's big in America, but it's still going to continue to grow in America
That's true.
because 1994 really grew football in this country. And now 2026, where social media is a thing now, viral moments are a thing now. Like even I'd honestly, and this might sound crazy, I'm from Atlanta, but I feel like more people know this because of Cole Palmer in
Yeah.
Atlanta than Trae Young.
Mm.
And I never thought I'd say that
Sheesh.
3 years
And I'm a
ago.
Knicks fan, so you know I'm rocking with that.
And bro,
Don't
you
get
know,
me
like
started on that little,
you know, like,
hair ass
um,
nigga, bro.
like those SEC boys like know who Cole Palmer is, and I'm like that's crazy to me. Like
Yeah.
I could have
Yeah.
never imagined this growing up, where me and my friends would be after school on our school laptops watching the 3 p.m. kickoff on a midweek, and everyone would like just be looking at us as like the soccer kids.
Yeah.
So the game's becoming more global and it's growing, and obviously I think with that the Prem revenues, because they have a revenue sharing model, but it's also kind of tiered with like your league placement. So Liverpool got 135 million pounds for winning the Prem.
It's disgusting.
I want to say we got 118, but it's like tiered by where you
Who
finish. in the
is
table.
we?
Yeah. Oh, Arsenal.
Biggest
Listen,
cl-
he been talking about that.
biggest club
already.
in London, mate?
The propaganda already started.
Uh,
already.
Yeah, I get that.
But it's just like the Prem's still growing in money, and
Yeah.
The
like-
Prem's only away with it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not even close to La Liga.
But the Big
Or-
Six
yeah,
is
it's
like
bad.
after Leicester won the title in 2016, I was about to say 2015. But after they won the title in 2016, I think the Big Six kind of said we need to get our stuff together, and like that's why they've, outside of Spurs, because Spurs had a horrible year last year, and United don't even want to talk about that. But really, no one's challenged the Big Six except Newcastle, and Newcastle has only done it because they got bought out by the Public Investment Fund.
Yep.
Of Saudi, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Unlimited funds.
like the disparity between those Big Six and the rest of the Prem, and even more so, like the other Big Five leagues,
Yeah.
is crazy.
Speaking of that, bro, talk about the 3 p.m. blackouts in England. You were talking
Oh,
about this
yeah.
on Sunday, which I think is absolutely nuts
Yeah.
to have.
So in England, and all my British friends always like, how are you watching this game? You don't get it over here.
It's crazy.
So we get more games over here than they do in England because to incentivize the fans to go watch their local. So let's say you're you live in Stockport, but you're an Arsenal fan, to incentivize you to go to a Stockport County game. They're in League 1, League 2. But to incentivize you to like go support your local, they won't show any of the 3 p.m. kickoffs in the UK. And so like we have Peacocks, we can watch. We have every game at our fingertips. So we have a bigger selection of games in the US than they do in the UK.
Meanwhile, their ticket prices in the Premier League are grossly rising, making it much harder for people to actually go to Premier League games.
Arsenal is the most expensive.
You know what I'm saying? Both from individual standpoints and the season tickets. So
yeah,
that's hustling backwards to me and like hurting the consumer in your own country.
I agree.
Because a lot of people in England are very upset about this, like the affordability, everything. Yeah,
I was gonna say football is also a very working class sport.
Yeah.
And there's a big interesting divide. It's the Watford gap, so it kind of divides the South and the North.
Yeah.
And like football's historically been a game that's been dominated by the North because Liverpool, United are easily the 2 biggest teams in the country. But even in the 70s, Leeds was a dynasty.
Yep.
Derby County won it.
Nottingham Forest won a couple.
Yeah,
right?
Forest won 2 European Cups.
Big, bro.
Derby County won the league in 72. Like football's been historically dominated by the North. I think us and then now you guys recently have been the 2 most dominant Southern clubs. But like football is the North is known for the working class mentality.
Yep.
And so by pricing out their fans, like it's showing like the suits are kind of ruining football.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I think there's a lot to be kind of delved into because the whole thing about the Super League was that why are we like I'm trying to like conceptualize it good.
Yeah.
Like
sure.
the Super League was kind of like these teams are breaking away and they don't really care about everyone else when football's not just the Big Six or English football's not just the Big Six.
Yeah.
Like the thing, like football is like you live in Gateshead, small town in Newcastle, have a long day at school, then you're going to the EFL Cup, the Newcastle game at night.
Yeah.
And you know that if you win the EFL Cup, then Newcastle's going to have European nights. And we're seeing it with the Crystal Palace fans this year. Like a lot of the people who support Crystal Palace, they're so excited to go to Poland to go watch them play Dynamo Kiev away because it's like, it's our first time Palace has ever been in Europe and it's like life-changing for them. And so like that was one of my biggest gripes with the Super League is because it's like these teams are breaking away and they have so much more financial means than the rest of the league.
Yeah.
But like football's not just the Big Six. Like it's a whole pyramid.
Yeah.
It's true.
Interesting stuff, man. Yeah. Hopefully things can get more affordable globally. What's up, Josh?
I'm just here.
Yeah, for sure. Any
He's
other
just here,
questions?
innit?
Any other business
Just-
football stuff we want to talk about?
I mean, shit. Like, what are your predictions for Arsenal this year,
yeah, facts.
domestically
I've
and in
gotten
Europe?
this question a lot. This team reminds me a lot of 2019 Liverpool, whereas I think we're not going to win the league. And I'm not saying like play style wise. I'm just saying I don't think we're going to win the league, but I think we may have a shot at the Champions League because and the thing is, Arsenal. Everyone says Arsenal fans are overzealous, and I'm a realistic Arsenal fan.
You think realistically you have a shot at winning the Champions League this season?
I think so because I think Mikel Arteta has shown that he can win big European away games. Because our one loss in the league phase last year, we outplayed Inter, and it was a game we conceded.
Nah, I'm just like,
Bro, said
The
what?
story of me saying.
it's just like, bro, I don't know.
It's kind of
The
nasty.
thing is, I'm being realistic. Like I'd love.
That's realistic?
I'd love for us to win the league. I think if we don't win either, we'll win the FA Cup.
Yeah, I'll be winning those
But
every once in a
It's
6 years.
like I don't know. There's a quote from the All or Nothing documentary. As an Arsenal fan, it's the hope that kills you.
It's definitely the hope, bro.
It's like
we see it.
Yeah,
No, but
because
the
you
thing
think you're
is,
gonna win
We
the
see
Champions
it in
the
real
aura-
time.
The aura in the last 3 years has been different, and I've loved this about
That's fair.
Arsenal. Is like
You said the aura.
just the aura around the club
Okay.
because you can feel it when you go to games. It's like
Different energy.
in the last couple, like growing up, when we would go to Selhurst Park away or I guess Leicester's in the championship now, but like King Power away,
Sure.
I'd be like, I'm hoping we can get a point. It's going to be an extremely tough game. Nowadays, I'm like, we're like high probability we're going to win this game. Like we're winning games we're supposed to win. It's not a random 4-0 thrashing because we used to get destroyed by Southampton. Like I have memories. Dusan Tadic. Who's the Italian striker they used to have? Not Graziano Pelle. I think so.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is this Mane days?
Yeah, this is like yeah. That,
Trust me.
what a team, by the way.
Yeah,
I miss good Southampton.
yeah.
Trust me.
But like Gomez, the French guy for Swansea, used to bag against us.
Yeah.
I just remember growing up, those random away games, we
Cook.
just slip up.
Yeah.
And nowadays, I'm expecting us to go into every game and get 3 points.
Yeah.
Whereas like
It's cute.
it used to not
Definitely cute.
it used to not be like that though.
Yeah.
And so it's unfortunate we finished second the last couple years. But also I think Mikel.
You unfortunately might do it again, buddy.
Nah, but
it's
Mikel
unfortunate.
Arteta gets a lot of shtick, and I was like,
Yeah.
you guys haven't been in the
Unfortunate,
trenches.
it's
Well, you've been in the trenches a couple years ago.
Yeah,
It's
Chelsea.
alright.
I know
Like-
world champions over here though.
It's all right.
But like I remember the trench days,
Yeah.
and like I'm very happy with where we are now compared to how it was in 2019 when I thought like we were gonna seriously get relegated for a period of time.
Yeah.
I appreciate y'all for giving Arteta time because every coach needs time to bring in their system, bring in their players.
Yeah.
What happens if there's no trophies this season? Like, what's the next?
I've been more critical of Arteta than a lot of people, and I think if he doesn't deliver this season, I think it might be time to go.
Arteta out if no trophies this season for
Yeah.
Mm.
I think it's fair because he's had the time, and now you have a very good squad.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're one move away. Seth was joking, like if you were a serious club, you would have gotten Rodrigo on the left wing. Now you're gonna win
I
the
agree.
Prem. I think y'all are one more move away like that to be
I
that
agree.
It
team.
can't be one more move every
Well,
season.
my
But the
biggest,
problem with
Picked
Arsenal
up
is
mad players.
no, but
Well,
that's
my-
their
my
problem. They don't
biggest-
do it.
It can't be one more move.
But I'm saying that's their problem.
my biggest gripe with Arteta has always been he'll play like this is the Pedri effect where Pedri was 18 playing 73 games that
Yeah.
one season. Like he used to play Saka and
Oh yeah,
Tranmere Rovers at home, and I'm just like, let him rest.
yeah.
And now
it's
now we're
affecting
seeing the
Saka.
effect. Like
Yeah.
he's getting injuries left and right, and I was like, he would always play the same 11 every game, whether it be EFL Cup, FA Cup, Europa League, Champions League, and I was like, just let him rest. Like I think now we have the rotation where we can do that.
Yeah,
But I was like, we have Lewis Skelly. Like last year, he was doing it, and I was like, we have Lewis Skelly on the bench, who's like he's proven himself. We have Ethan Nwaneri on the bench. I was like, just let these players rest.
yeah.
And so that was always my gripe with him because he would never rotate the squad. But I think now we have the depth to that.
Mm.
But
Definitely have the depth.
yeah,
With
One-
Eze and Madueke, yeah.
One question I
Champions
have.
League, innit?
One question I have about that, or even concept that I seen recently, says Fabregas was talking about. I believe it was says, even Barca, La Masia. Part of the reason they've been able to bring in a lot of their young guys, or even their hands been forced to do so, is because of their financial situation.
Oh,
Mhm.
Barca for sure. It's been a money thing.
People like Pedri,
the financial
Gavi,
levers.
Yeah,
even
they have to play
even
young guys.
Lamine Yamal.
Of course, all of them.
And it's because of the fact they haven't been in the best financial situation. So was that period of time when soccer was getting run into the ground? Was that linked to finances?
It
And how-
wasn't. And the thing is, Arsenal's financial situation, I know we're like the big six and everyone considers us as one of the biggest in England. But when the Emirates first got built, we took on a lot of debt. And I think Arsene Wenger's a legend, but I don't think he gets enough credit. I know that sounds crazy to say, but Arsene Wenger saved Arsenal
Mm,
because there was a period of time, like from 2006 after we lost the Champions League to about 2014, 2015, where Wenger qualified for the Champions League every year during that era. And if we didn't have that revenue coming in from the Champions League,
Yeah.
we would have gone bust. And during that period, we were selling Adebayor, Samir Nasri. We even had to
Fabregas.
sell, yeah. Van Persie left on a free, but we got some money for him. But like we had to sell a lot of our top talent because
mm,
we couldn't financially keep up with you guys, City, United, because we were in so much debt. And so I think the Cronkies, like everyone hates the Cronkies, everyone loves to hate on them, but they really helped fix our financial situation. So Arsene Wenger and the Cronkies kind of saved Arsenal.
Wenger was a frugal man, bro.
Yeah.
Mm.
Hey man, you got the Invincibles.
But the
got
thing
some
is, he was
pickups
finding
on there.
diamonds in the rough, though. Like his scouting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
of
tough.
course.
It was tough. It was
So the
tough.
joke used to be Arsenal would have these crazy young ballers, but they would always leave to that bigger club
Yeah.
during that same era that you're talking
Yeah,
about.
bro. They have Fabregas, Inter, Rising
Yeah.
Walcott, and all that.
Yeah.
When Luis Suarez's release clause in 2012 was 40 million pounds, and Arsenal bid 40 million in £1, and I think that's kind of the encapsulation of Arsenal's financial
Yeah.
problems.
Mm.
Right.
They almost scooped up Cristiano. He was supposed to go to Arsenal.
That's what they said.
That's
Not for real.
Facts. No, it's true. Same with Neymar and Real Madrid.
Arsenal's the almost club. We could have had
Yeah.
Zlatan. We could have had Harry Kane.
Zlatan is a fact. Where
Yeah.
Leao talked about random as fuck, but Leao talked about how he almost went to Inter.
Yeah, I
They
saw that
they
on the
reached out to
pod.
him right
Yeah.
before. Then you know what I'm saying, man. Milan.
So it'll be- Well, good luck rest of the season, bro. Good luck in the Champions League. You know, y'all might make a little run. I don't know if y'all gonna win it, but I do agree at the very least that Arsenal is definitely improving.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a great time to be an Arsenal fan. I know we haven't won anything,
Yeah.
but I still think it's a great
it's a
time.
better
It's
time.
good energy.
Yeah.
Fair.
For sure. And best of luck to you and everything you do, bro. We'll definitely have
you.
to have you back on, have a full-on football business deep dive because there's so much to
There's
get.
so many.
Let's clap it up for Amir, our boy. Is this your podcast debut as well?
It is, yeah.
10 out of 10, bro. You were perfect. Literally.
Thank you.
Great.
All right. Bringing it now to the Bundesliga, we have Harry Kane, who is in absolutely flying form. He just scored his 9th hat trick for Bayern Munich and is already up to 8 goals in this Bundesliga. And is already up to 8 goals in this Bundesliga season, which has him currently on pace for the single season scoring record of 41 by Robert Lewandowski. The question for y'all today is, will he break that 41 goal mark?
If anybody's gonna do it, it'll be Harry.
Yep.
You know, it's crazy to hear how he has 9 hat tricks with the club in general, such a small amount of time.
Yep.
Both goal scoring machines, and the team is just built to give him opportunities up front.
Yeah. And I agree with you too. I also think just like the way Gnabry's playing, Michael Olise, Luis Diaz, he has the people around him to give him those goals. So I think he can break the record.
100%. Yeah, he's acclimated to the league now. I think the goals are coming easy to him. My thing, I'm curious. I think he will break the record, but I want to know if he'll break it in the same amount of games that Lewandowski did.
Okay.
That's kind of the interesting part about it, is that Lewandowski did it in the same amount of games. So I'm curious to see if Kane can do it on the same pace.
Yeah, I mean, Harry Kane had 36 goals in his first season at Bayern. It's not too far away from the record. He's in flying form. I wouldn't bet against it.
100%. So we spoke about Bayern Munich has one of the most lethal attacks in all of world football right now with Harry Kane, Michael Olise, and Luis Diaz. But another team that's making waves is Frankfurt once again with the likes of Can Uzun, who's already dominating at 19 years old. And what's interesting to me between these two clubs is kind of the difference in philosophies, one attracting some of the biggest stars in the world and the other being known for scouting some of the world's best young talent, who then eventually becomes those type of stars that a Bayern might attract. So curious y'all thoughts on the two philosophies. Curious y'all thoughts on these two philosophies, as well as which team you think might have the better attack right now.
Yeah, it seems that Can Uzun is the next up in the portfolio of Frankfurt strikers who have gone on to be some of the best in the world. Following Marmoush and Ekitike, already has 4 goals this season, plus 1 in Europe. And I think the attack is starting off great, and he's on pace to have a great breakout season for himself.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, Bayern has pretty much figured out the winning formula. Attract the best talent in the world, finish top in the league. They've only played 4 matches so far this season. They've already scored 18 goals. They're soaring. So I think although Frankfurt has shown that they can finish top 6, top 4, with their philosophy, at this point, it's really just Bayern's league to lose.
Yeah. Another story this Bundesliga season I think fans should be paying attention to is the story of RB Leipzig. Lost the first game of the season 6-0, but have gone on to win 3 in a row and are now 3rd in the table. Obviously after coming back from the likes of losing some of their talents like Xavi Simons, Luis Openda, Benjamin Sesko, new stars are starting to already take up, and
you're fine.
Our new stars are already starting to come up and take on the mantle and take on that responsibility, and Antonio Nusa and Johan Bakayoko, as well as the veteran presence of Hungarians Gulaci and Willy Orban. So I think that they're able to make a push similar to Borussia Dortmund last year. Currently on great form, I think RB Leipzig is able to turn things around and end up potentially in Europe next season.
So the Madrid derby is coming up this weekend, one of the fiercest rivalries in all of world sport, I would say. But the teams are coming in with very different form. Real Madrid have won their first 7 games in all competitions, a perfect 6 for 6 in La Liga, while Atletico Madrid has much more been struggling, including only winning 1 of their first 5 matches. But what are y'all thoughts on what they can do to turn around their La Liga season?
It'll be interesting to see. Obviously a derby is a very good opportunity to bring back morale and energy. Being home advantage too. It'll be time to do it. Be tough. Madrid is in form. So I don't think it'll happen next week, but soon come.
I think we've had similar conversations last season when these two teams have met. Real Madrid soaring at certain points, Atletico Madrid looking shaky. But Atletico has managed to get a point from their matchups last year. And then also that matchup that they had against Barcelona, where they came from behind, scored in the last minute of the game. I believe it was Sorlov.
Yep.
So we've seen these little moments where like Atletico Madrid just looks like they're down in the dumps. When it comes time to play against a Barca or Real, they get a result.
I would like to see how Atletico Madrid maybe changes their tactics going into this upcoming match. Over the last few seasons, they've brought in firepower in the likes of Julian Alvarez, Almada, Raspadori, and of course, Marcos Llorente in great form right now, despite the shaky start to the season. I think as they go into this game against a juggernaut like Real Madrid, Important thing is to be on the offensive, try and take those chances that they might give up, and see if they can steal a point.
Yeah, I would say in derbies, form goes out the window. So we'll have to see what happens this weekend. That was episode 96. Almost at
Sheesh.
episode 100. I have to think every time I say it. But we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Big announcement was made, but we're going to talk about it when Sep gets back. We love
Facts.
y'all. We love y'all.
Peace.
Okay.
Take care.